There are a handful of Christian sects who trace their roots to Anabaptist teachings, and this Christian group is also one of them. People who identify with this group enjoy a communal existence and base their lives on the biblical exhortation to love their God and neighbor. But what exactly is this group, and what do we need to know about them? Well, that's what we're going to find out in this video today. As you guys know, we discuss different cults and religions in detail on this channel. This time it's the Bruderhof religious group. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Although based on Anabaptist doctrines, the first Bruderhof community was founded in 1920 in Sannerz, Germany by Protestant theologian Eberhard Arnold. Arnold received his Hutterite ministerial ordination in 1930. The community's pacifist views compelled them to flee Nazi Germany in 1937, finally emigrating to Paraguay during World War II. They have 23 villages dispersed over 5 nations, each with the same rule book. No one owns anything, everyone works together, and modern technology is avoided. Women dress as agricultural peasants from the 19th century, while children are encouraged to interact with nature. Most meals are eaten together, accompanied by hymns. Darvel, near Rodersbridge in East Sussex, is home to approximately 300 people. It has been in the spotlight in the lead-up to tonight's BBC documentary Inside the Bruderhof, which offers a largely positive portrayal of its back-to-basics lifestyle. Set against the backdrop of Sussex's picturesque greenery, it's easy to imagine Darvel as some sort of utopia. Villagers sing "Morning Has Broken" as they eat breakfast together, children play outside feeding pigs and horses, young men fish in the lake, and villagers tell the cameras how grateful they are to be away from the corrupting influences of 21st century life. The majority of the adults work at Community Playthings, the £17 million toy and furniture manufacturer that keeps the town solvent. Everyone is guaranteed a job, but nobody is compensated. Debt and mortgages are unfamiliar notions. But what exactly sets these people apart from other Christians? Well, there are certain beliefs that set the Bruderhof apart from other Christian sects. What are they? Let's take a look. Bruderhof communities follow in the footsteps of the first Christians in the Book of Acts, living in a single community and sharing everything in common. The official Bruderhof website states that members of this sect feel called to a way of life in which all are of one heart and soul, no one possesses anything, and everything is shared in common. Members of the Bruderhof community do not own any property, get a wage, or have a bank account. The income from all enterprises is combined and used to care for all members. Apart from that, Bruderhof, like other Anabaptist-influenced groups, adheres to absolute non-violence. They do not serve in the armed forces of any country where they reside. Bruderhof believes that military duty and involvement in combat contradict the Bible command to love one's neighbor. There is another belief of this community where children are not automatically the members of the group. Children who grow up in Bruderhof communities do not automatically become members. They are encouraged to leave the community to gain life experience before joining the community. Other than that, members of the Bruderhof community dress simply, as do others in the Anabaptist faith. They consider their wardrobe choices as an external reflection of their heart's purity. It also stems from their efforts to dress modestly and avoid apparel that reflects vanity and worldliness. When it comes to work, each Bruderhof member is supposed to work in a profession that benefits the community. Bruderhof members work in vocations ranging from doctor to teacher in the community, and community companies help to support children, disabled members, and the elderly who are unable to work. Bruderhof communities see working together as an expression of their commitment to Jesus Christ and serving one another. But where do the Bruderhof live in the UK? There are around 2,900 people around the world who live a Bruderhof way of life. They have communities in the United States, England, Germany, Australia, and Paraguay. In the UK, there are 3 different Bruderhof communities in East Sussex, Kent, and Peckham, London. The oldest and largest of these communities, founded almost 50 years ago in 1971, can be found in the village of Darvel in Robertsbridge, Sussex. It is this community that the BBC documentary follows. In London, the Bruderhof community in Peckham was only established 4 years ago in 2016, while the community in Nonnington in Kent was established in 1995. However, there are certain things about this community that are not much appreciated by its members, especially if you take ex-members of the group into account. If you speak to some of these Bruderhof's ex-members, they'll tell you exactly how it feels to be a part of this community. Sarah, 21, lived in the Hof during her childhood. Like most of the community's children, she was educated at Darvel School, a Hof-run institution between the ages of 4 and 13, before boarding at an academy in Beech Grove, Kent, Britain's other major Bruderhof community. Sarah's childhood was marked by secrecy, she says. She claims to have been considered a threat by her teachers for asking too many questions about why Bruderhof women had to dress differently to men, and was forbidden from questioning their hierarchy. At one point, she says her older sister was given what she describes as an exorcism to treat a chronic physical illness, and was told, "The demons of your disease should come out of you now." But Bruderhof denies her account, pointing out that they have on-site doctors, dentists, and nurses. Bernard Hibbs, the outreach director, says, "We pride ourselves on ensuring that brothers and sisters have access to the best possible care. As Christians, of course we pray for those among us who are suffering mentally or physically, but thankfully we can also depend on world-class care from community residents." Another ex-member, Esther Kisler, reports that her family was abruptly ejected from Darvel in 2002, just after her sister attempted suicide. "My father was sent away that same night, and a couple of weeks later, the rest of us were loaded into a van and driven to my grandparents in Germany," she said. Former members also say they grew frustrated with Darvel's approach to gender, where most of the cooking, cleaning, and laundry is carried out by women. They mostly dress like peasants while the men look fairly modern. Sarah recalls, "It just seemed like the only option was for people to get married, and then, through being connected with a man, you'll have some sort of leverage and power." But on the other side, in the BBC documentary Inside the Bruderhof, one female cook tells the camera she's perfectly happy in her domestic situation. "We have our roles perhaps because they're the traditional roles of women. And it's not a bad thing, it's a wonderful thing," she said. Another member named Evelyn, 28, who prefers to use her surname, grew up in the Beech Grove neighborhood until the age of 8, when she was also transported to America. In most situations, Bruderhof youngsters do not become complete members until they have spent some time in the outside world, at which point they can decide whether or not to return. Evelyn desired a normal adolescence and declined membership, instead attending Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., before relocating to New York, where she now works as a teacher. But growing up in the Hof, she thinks, seriously stunted her social skills. Members of Bruderhof communities are welcome to come and go as they please, and younger members are encouraged to spend a year outside of the communes when they turn 18 before deciding if they want to commit to commune life. According to the BBC, some members choose to leave, but others get overwhelmed by contemporary life and come back. What are your thoughts on this religious group? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed watching this video, then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.